Alright, thank you for tuning in. Got another surprise today, something that we've been wanting to do for a while. We're going to do some candied jalapeno. Now we've pickled jalapenos before, the jalapenos, carrots and onions, cauliflower, all the melody of vegetables. This time we're just going to do a classic Cowboy Candy. Obviously you need jalapenos. A lot of recipes that you can find online ask for 3 pounds of peppers. We are going to go ahead and just double that batch today. So everything I'm going to tell you, we're telling you from I'm doubling it. So right now we have about 7 pounds of jalapenos. A couple other ingredients you're going to want when you do your simple syrup. Right now behind me in the pot, we have 12 cups of sugar. Now obviously I'm doubling it, right? So if you want to do a smaller batch, cut it in half. So the batch we're doing, we're trying to get 12 jars out of. So we have 12 cups of sugar, and we only have 4 cups of apple cider vinegar. I'm not changing the ratio on the vinegar like I normally do. This is my first time trying this, so I want to keep the vinegar all apple cider. A couple other ingredients you're going to need, I got them all right here in this jar, ready to go. Half teaspoon of garlic powder, half teaspoon of celery seed, and a half teaspoon of turmeric. Right, so the garlic powder, obviously for garlic flavor. Turmeric gives it that good color. Celery seed is going to kind of balance some of the peppers out. Now a lot of people have cayenne pepper in their Cowboy Candy. We're not doing that today. As you can see by my big old glass of milk right here, I already tested these peppers and they're hot. If you like the cayenne pepper taste, by all means go ahead and add in a half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. But we do double R's, so we'll actually be using a full teaspoon of each. Now to save time, we're trying the food processor with our jalapenos. We found that they come out a little sideways and different shapes, because obviously you don't have any control like you would in a knife. So this is disclosure, don't do this at home. If you're not comfortable, if you want big thick slices, however you want, if you don't care how the slices turn out, sideways, circles, you just toss them in here and use your plunger. I'm just kind of using another paddle here just to kind of guide them in so they're not all sideways. If you just throw the jalapenos in, you're going to have slices and circles. We're trying to keep as many of the jalapeno slices circles. Just know that you will start getting that jalapeno essence in your nose. I just had to take a quick break and eat some gum. If you guys don't know, if you're working with spicy food a lot, especially peppers, are getting all in my throat. Get some spearmint gum, wintergreen gum, whatever. That'll help kind of balance it out. You'll stop that burning in the back of your throat or that tickling. Some people don't like that. I like jalapenos, as you can tell. Right now I got my sugar on. That's getting worked right now. And I can just take my paddle. I can use all this inside stuff here. Remember, it's all gonna get stirred around. Some people do opt to remove half the seeds. guess that's up to you. I'm just throwing it all in because it's happier that way. Alright. So there's a lot of seeds in here. I guess if you are getting stuff that's really seedy, I guess you can pull it out. But for now, we are going to go ahead and go with that. Now, obviously I have gloves on. I'm going to do a quick rinse of the seeds. My simple syrup is starting to warm up. I'm going to add in my ingredients. And then like I said, we're going to double our ingredients. So, no special brand is necessary. Alright, so now that a simple syrup has come to a boil, we're letting it simmer for about 5 minutes, which is what we already have been doing now. So remember, this is a simple syrup. So I definitely do not recommend anybody just dipping their finger in unless you want to burn yourself. Alright, so now that we have that done, we're just going to start adding our jalapenos in. Alright. Now when you start to mix up your jalapenos, it's going to seem like you don't have enough liquid. But don't worry about that, just keep mixing it, keep mixing it. The jalapeno itself will start releasing its own juices. Get the last of this in there. Alright. Quick little rinse right there. And now I'm just going to start stirring everything over. So now you can see, now all that is starting to get coated with that simple syrup. I want to get it all nice and cooked down. Your peppers are going to start to discolor a little bit, not in a bad way. Obviously they're not going to be a light green anymore, they're going to start to turn a little dark. Some of them might get a little yellow. And that's okay, that's natural, right? Again, we tried the food processor doing slices this time. That's why we got a lot of slices out of it. So when we fill our jars, we need to make sure we're not overpacking them. If you're doing hand cut, you probably won't have that problem as bad. Some people, they just dice up their jalapenos and do the same method and make a relish out of it. And there's nothing wrong with that. Now all you do now is just go ahead, just turn the heat back up a little bit. Let's get a simmer back going. Kept it kind of low so I don't burn myself. Alright, now once it comes back to the simmer, let it sit for about 5 minutes. Then you can start pulling out your jars that you are sterilizing. Remember, you want to sterilize them for about 10 minutes. And then while you're doing that, you can get your lids in a warm water bath as well. Get those sterilized, get the rims starting to soften up a little bit. and we'll see you back here in a minute. Alright, so we had our jalapenos boiling in our simple syrup. I got most of these jars packed. It's calling for about a 1/2 inch headspace. Alright. I'm probably just about a little bit under 1/2 inch, that's alright. Now I'm just packing a couple more jars. You'll see that when you do this, since this is our first time doing it this way, if you want, you can de-seed about half of your jalapenos, kind of reduce the amount of seeds that you're going to have in your jars. We didn't de-seed this time. Next time, I did have a lot of seeds. These were like really huge jalapenos, almost like little baseball bats. So the next time I do this, I definitely, if I have these extra large jalapenos again, I definitely will de-seed a lot of them. We do have the simple syrup on boil right now. It's been boiling for about 10 minutes. I ran a regular soup wire mesh strainer in there to get most of the seeds out. Now I have a couple extra left here. So all I'm going to do is kind of spread these around a little bit. Some of the other jars that can use a few extra peppers. Now, try to be careful as much as you can when you're loading your jars. This stuff is pretty sticky. You still have to wipe down your jars anyway. Just trying to reduce how much extra work you gotta do. It's always the plan, right? Reduce the work, increase the profit. Alright, that's probably good. Alright, that's enough. We'll take these 2 extra jars, put them on the side. Alright. So that whole time, this stuff's been boiling down. Remember stainless steel everything. If this is your first time, I highly recommend everything stainless steel. When you start getting to candy, you're gonna have your own little spot in your kitchen where that's all my canning stuff. We actually got a couple spots. You don't have to go out and buy everything at once. And you don't have to buy the most expensive things. Any of your local supermarkets will have stainless steel utensils. So I think the most expensive thing that we bought was this spider, which was like $5. And you don't have to go out and buy everything all at once. But as I always emphasize, make sure you're using stainless steel. We've used Teflon before, actually with jalapenos. I did jalapenos and cauliflower. Because I used Teflon, all my cauliflower turned blue. Now there was nothing wrong with it, and it was luckily it was just a small batch. So, you know, it got eaten up pretty quick. If you have any questions about how to boil everything and what's the right equipment to use, you You know, always refer back to this page. You can hit subscribe, hit the like button. We will be doing jalapenos again. We'll probably be doing jalapenos in a jardinere. Jalapenos are something that's always available. There's always different spice levels. And a lot of times when you just do like a regular pickle, it does tone the heat down a little bit. You can kind of control that by removing the stems and the seeds. This time we're not doing that. Alright, so now that I have all my fluid, my simple syrup inside my jars, I went ahead and debubbled some of them already. But if you guys see, just the standard debubbler that comes in it. Gives you each notch for your depth. All I'm doing is just going around the rim a little bit, getting some of the bubbles out. You'll see once you put liquid in there, they don't feel so tight anymore. They start to loosen up inside the jar. We got most of everything already out. I already tested the height or the depth of the jars. I'm at a 1/2 inch. You really want to make sure the jars are clean. I use vinegar on a paper towel. I don't like using a regular dishcloth because if you're like me, dishcloth gets used for a lot of things other than dishes. So I want something that's clean as I possibly can have. Get rid of that. And once you start putting your lids on, you just don't want any debris, any of that simple syrup stuck. Because all that's going to do is just not allow your jars to seal properly. Now, I know a lot of people just put their lids straight on their jars. You know, a lot of the newer lids, you know, the gum that's on the bottom of it. You don't need to like heat it up like you used to get them all tacky. But I still do it as good practice. I don't have any problems with my jars. I'm not using super boiling water. It's just, you know, just not good hot water. Kind of softens it up. Plus, you want to make sure that your lids are sterile, especially if we're going to be giving these away. I want to make sure I'm doing all the safe practices that I can possibly be doing. This is a shelf stable item. So most people say you'll get about 1.5 years or so out of it. Normally when I can jalapenos, most of them, you know, you get 12 in a box, and I pretty much eat them in about 6 months. So they don't even last that long, not in my house. You're putting your jars on, you put on them finger tight. You don't want to put them too tight because you got to remember when they're in the canner, they're going to build up pressure. When they build up pressure, that lid has to have somewhere to release all the air that's inside the jar. I normally don't have this many jars out here, so I have enough room. And out of this batch, I think my liquid I had spot on. I had to go get some more lids. If we had a sponsor, we'd get a commercial break in between there. But yeah, you want to make sure that the lids, all that extra air got kind of move out. And then obviously as it's cooling, it'll start to suck everything closed. Alright, and then like I said, we doubled the batch. And what I did, we wound up doing about 8 pounds of peppers actually. And we turned out of getting 19 jars. These are half pints. Alright, so 2, 4, 6, 8. I got 11 in the first batch, which will be fine. You want to make sure you have about 1 to 2 inches of water above. Make sure it comes back to a boil before you start your timer. In our altitude, we have to do our water bath canning for 25 minutes. So make sure you check your ball book or your USDA on whatever your altitude is and where you need to have your time at. So just wait till it comes to a boil. Once you see that everything is boiling, set your timer. We're setting ours for 25 minutes. Once your 25 minutes is up, go ahead and take your lid off. You can pull your cans back over the water bath canner. Let them sit for a couple minutes, let them calm down, settle back down. About 5 more minutes, and then go ahead and just pull them out. All right, we got our peppers out of the can. Kitchen cleaned up. Starting to let our jars cool. We had 1 seal, which is a good sign. As you can see, 1 on the left sucked in, what you're looking for. And not a bad job. Again, if you have any leftover syrup, which you probably will, you can save that. Marinate your favorite meats with it if you want. Add it to a potato salad, whatever you think is the best flavoring for you. But again, if you like what you see, hit the like button. If you guys want to see more in the future, hit subscribe. We do have some other cool stuff coming up for you pretty soon in the next couple of days. Thank you for watching.